The First Amendment grants everyone the right to assemble with others, to redress grievances, and to protest, and to even have a pride parade, to march through streets and hold signs and banners. But does that right allow for individuals to essentially go out in full frontal nudity in front of children? And that seems to have been what happened in one instance across the country, if not others. Good morning. I'd like to get your thoughts about this at 217-629-7970. It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk. And Governor J.B. Pritzker was out over the weekend at a pride parade in Chicago, and it rained, but it was obviously well attended. And he shared on Twitter, "I've been marching for LGBTQ plus rights since Pride was thought of as a protest, and I'm proud to keep marching as a celebration of hope and recommitment to the fight for equality today." And he shared a picture of him from decades ago, it looks like, fighting for rights for Illinois. And then he shared a picture from just over the weekend where he's standing in front of a banner that says "Protect Trans Kids." So obviously a big attended parade in Chicago dealing with issues of LGBTQ plus rights, and something that's, of course, the First Amendment affords everybody the opportunity to assemble with others and to protest and to share their thoughts. But again, the question, where does the line get drawn? Because elsewhere throughout the country at pride parades, you saw some men naked, completely naked, on bicycles, riding around. I believe the video was out of California, and I'm not going to air it here, of course, because, well, it's a sensitive nature. But the video showed these older men completely naked, full frontal, on bicycles, waving to a crowd of people, which included children in the crowd. But that's not the only thing that's getting people riled up. In New York City, you had marchers chanting, "We're here, we're queer, and we're coming for your children." So just hear this protest that was happening in New York City over the weekend. So obviously, it's going to get some people riled up because you hear a lot of pushback of people saying they don't want this in front of their children, and those arguing for LGBTQ plus rights saying that they don't want they're not coming for your children, but obviously some indicating in that chant that they are. And this deals with everything from the types of reading material that's in public school libraries to the curriculum that's being taught in some public schools, and obviously a lot of consternation, a lot of debate, a lot of pushback on all of this. But where's the line drawn, right? Everybody has the right to protest. And you've seen the issue raised of even those who protest abortion and being called distasteful when they have printed on large, sheets what looks like an aborted fetus, and how that is very traumatic for people to see. But on the other side as well, when it comes to the LGBTQ plus movement, where's the line drawn? It's not just what happened with the naked bikers riding through the streets, exposing themselves to children. You also had simulated sex acts being conducted on same-sex individuals riding through a parade. And again, I think it comes down to the issue of nobody wants to be told what they can and cannot do in the privacy of their own home. Right? I don't want you coming into my house telling me and my wife how we should conduct ourselves behind closed doors. It's none of your business. And it's none of your business as to, the gay couple down the street and how they conduct themselves behind closed doors in the privacy of their own bedroom. It's none of your business. The small L libertarian will say, they want gay and lesbian couples to protect pot fields with AR-15s, right? So that's an interesting kind of thought exercise to say, listen, the libertarian mindset is you do what you want in the comfort of your own home. But when you're out in public, obviously you have the right to associate with others and to have the redress of your grievances. But is that line drawn where it comes to exposing yourself to children who could be out in attendance at that parade? And it also goes to the question of, you hear all the pushback against, drag time story hour, where I've seen instances, and we could pull up all kinds of videos of men in drag wearing next to nothing, showing off intimate parts of their body in front of children. And I think that, again, it's not about what you do in the privacy of your own home or how you want to live your life. If you want to be transgender and be of the opposite gender that you were born, that's entirely up to you as an adult to make that decision. I think that the line is when it comes to involving children in this. And that seems to be where a lot of people are pushing back. Let's get to some of your phone calls at 217-629-7970. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning, Greg. First of all, for the bikers, if you get off the bike the wrong way, it could be a little painful, if you know what I mean.
But those seats don't. Listen, Megan and I were on bikes for a good chunk of the day on Saturday, and my rear end is still feeling it.
Yeah, and just think about. Well, let's not go there. Basically, this kind of flamboyant kind of stuff, I think, frankly, hurts their cause because. I mean, if you're wanting equal rights and stuff, well, that's one thing. And like you said, you do what you do behind closed doors. Why do they have to keep shoving it in our face? We don't. My wife and I don't shove what we do in their face. You and your wife don't. Why do they have to do it that way?
Well, and I think there's some motivations to shock and awe people when it comes to these types of demonstrations. Maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but some might agree that what you said it seems to hurt their arguments. Good morning. You're on 92.7 WMAY.
Morning, Greg.
Hey.
And I can't agree with you more that I want the gay couple down the street to protect their weed field with AR-15s. I mean, that's just how it is now. But if you take away the parade, you take away all the excitement that was going on whenever those two guys were riding bikes naked, now what do you have? Indecent exposure, and they're getting arrested. That's where I'm looking at it from. Because if you can't the parade, yes, you're supposed to dance around and have fun, but you have to keep it civil, and that's just not civil.
Yeah. Or, wearing next to nothing, some kind of, dominatrix outfit and simulated sex acts with others during a parade on a float. I mean, these things,
and what,
you're not winning. You're not winning over the other side here with that.
No, the crowd is not getting convinced that you're here to help. If you're not here to help your community, then you need to go home, to be quite honest. I mean, it's one thing to, let's say, dress in a pantsuit. I mean, if you're going to be transgender, dressing like Hillary Clinton or something like that and coming to read books, that's one thing. It's another thing to dress like you're going to the VU and dance. I mean, that's completely different. I mean, common decency is still here, and it's still a factor. I mean, and I don't know if you've seen the clip or not where one pastor went to a school board meeting and was reading one of the books that is very questionable that they're allowing in schools and in public libraries. He read it aloud in a school board meeting, and the school board members were uncomfortable.
Yeah, they shut him down, right, because he was reading from a book that is being put into public school libraries, and when he went to go read material from that book, he was shut down by the school board. It's pretty telling. 217-629-7970. Good morning, you're on WMAY.
Good morning. First off, Greg, I want to say I have gay friends who are not activists, okay? But some of the LGBTQ activists what they've done, they've taken it out of the closet into the streets, into the school, and also into our laws, into the discrimination laws. There's no good definition of it, first off. And the other thing is, if someone did what they've done in some of these schools, like which I saw a picture of one of them straddling a child or showing their genitalia or whatever, if they did that in the privacy of their home, they would be arrested as a pedophile. So what's happened is they've come out and now they want everybody to celebrate it. They want everybody to use their pronouns. I even had a girl once. She wanted me to use her preferred pronouns, and I said, I'm not going to do that. I will call you by your name, but if you're male or female, that's where I'm going with it. So it's just something that's happened in our society that's incrementally coming into the public square. And parents need to stand up against this because I believe they're indoctrinating the children.
Listen, I think that nobody should have to live their life in a closet. That's nowhere the right thing for anybody to do. People do need to live their lives as they want to live their lives. But it crosses the line, as we're hearing from the callers, to take that, what some see as a fetish, and having it out on the street openly. And I know there's difference in culture from the United States to the culture over in Europe. I mean, Europe's got nude beaches, and you go to the red light district in Amsterdam, and it's a totally different story. But when it comes to decency, I think the majority of people are going to see some of these pride parade activities as a step way too far, especially if children are going to be in attendance at these parades. I'll share with you a video of another instance that happened over the weekend, really fascinating, and it deals with the Patriot Front. Is that what that group is? A bunch of racists, and they were approached by MAGA supporters and ultimately demasked. Rather fascinating video that's circulating, so we'll touch on that coming up next and get your phone calls at 217-629-7970. It's 822. So it wasn't just naked bikers during a pride parade that made some waves on the internet. There's another clash that happened, and it's a interesting display of a group of Donald Trump supporters going up against, what is this group called? The Patriot Guard or something? The group that wears, black masks and baseball caps, and they carry flags upside down, but they're racist. They're like neo-Nazis, essentially. A lot of people speculate they're feds, that they're undercover federal agents. And they met, I guess, a group of people that weren't too happy about them. And I'm not going to air the audio of this video because, well, there's a lot of swearing. But the video shows this Patriot Guard group wearing black masks, black gloves, black tops, and khaki bottoms getting shoved around by various individuals carrying American flags with, cut off T-shirts. And they're shoving and telling these Patriot Guard groups that they're racist. They need to get out, move on, get out of the way. They're using their flags to kind of, push them back. And then all of a sudden, some fists start flying. And the fists are flying at a good clip. And as you watch this video, you see them continue to go back, keep getting pushed back, and it's about even, as far as the numbers versus the others. And the Patriot Guard group, I think is the Patriot Front. I can't remember their name. Who cares? They're racist. And then you get some pushing, and then all of a sudden, the fists start flying, and it turns into a fracas. Of all kinds of different people falling over. And what's really telling about this, there's a punch. What's really telling about this is they start stripping the masks off these guys. They start saying, demask them. What's interesting, though, is one of the guys who's really throwing some sluggers is wearing a mask as well. But they start ripping the masks off these guys. And this is the first time I've seen at least a confrontation like this where people are yanking the masks off of these individuals, demasking them, unmasking them. Then you see faces for the first time. And some people even doing some online sleuthing and finding who these individuals may be. and stripping their masks off exposes their face. There's another mask strip, and the guy's trying to cover his face back up. But, yeah, video frames are able to be frozen, and then you can get a good picture of the individual, and the group quickly disbands and walks away. But that video made the rounds online, and I think that there was a lot of people cheering that, listen, violence is horrible regardless. But the people who were sharing that video saying it's about time that these racists were demasked. It's time to pull the mask off of others, including Antifa, which I know people say, that's not a real thing. Okay. Then why do they show up in organized protests all wearing black masks and doing some provocateur actions? So, again, some happenings in protests over the weekend, something I think that we're going to see a lot more of in the days and weeks ahead.